Hi, so today I'm going to share with you my breast cancer journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the whole entire thing. I may leave some things out, and it's mainly because it was so long ago and I don't remember, or how many surgeries I have, if the anesthesia affects my memory, I don't know. I was definitely given some strong pain medication through all of the surgeries, which was 5 surgeries from 2013 to 2015, and one of them did include me getting my tubes tied. So that was a lot of surgeries to have to go through in that short amount of time. So I'm gonna go through everything from the beginning to the end of that, and I'm not gonna leave out anything. I'm gonna be completely. I'm just gonna tell it how it was basically, and what I'm facing right now, because what I'm facing right now is really difficult, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with it yet, but it's not good, and I'll explain that. But so the symptoms that I had that led me to the breast cancer, a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know, and it wasn't a lump. And that's like really important to know. It was not a lump. Most women are looking for lumps. It was not a lump. I was 30 years old. Yes, I was 30 years old. After Tyler, I had always, I was always able to still have that colostrum, that clear stuff that comes out when right before your milk comes in when you have the baby. I never breastfed, but that stuff, it still came out of me after Tyler and after Kylie. So sometimes when I would see it leaking, I'd just be like, oh, it's no big deal, whatever. Well, I was getting out of the shower one day and I noticed that it was like a greenish brown color. And I was like, okay, this is new. This is not normal. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I was like, I've got my I'm going to see my gynecologist for my annual in like October or something. I'm like, so it's no big deal. I'll go then. Well, I noticed that around I had my period, it like started to leak really bad. Like really, it was just started leaking, and I don't know if my hormones were causing it to leak. I don't know what was happening. But I put not put I was getting out of the shower again and it was leaking and I started to squeeze it. I was trying to get it out. I was like, what is this? This is disgusting. If this is like an infection or something, I got to get it out of me. So I'm squeezing it and all of a sudden, like, it just started to blow up to like a double D, and that's not how big my boobs were at the time. Okay, so I'll go back. So in high school, I was always a C. After Tyler, I went to a B. After Kylie, I went to an A. And then after Ariel, I went to an even smaller A. So a double D for me on one side was not normal. So what I did was I went to the ER, and they were trying to tell me that I had mastitis, I think, and it's something you get when you breastfeed. It's an infection in your breast you get when you breastfeed. And I'm like, I've never breastfed, and my daughter is 6 years old, so that's not what this is. And so it was still swollen, so they gave me ibuprofen and they gave me Vicodin, and they sent me home. And after all that happened, they told me to go to the gynecologist. Well, after the swelling went down, the lump was present, and I had to go to a gynecologist that wasn't mine because mine wasn't available at the time. So I went in to see this man, and he didn't really have any idea. He's like, I've never seen this in my life. And I was just like, wait, what? Like, I'm the only woman this has ever happened to? He's like, I'm going to send you for an ultrasound and a mammogram. And I'm like, okay. So I go in and I go have the ultrasound, and they were able to see the lump in the ultrasound. They denied the mammogram because I was too young. They didn't want me exposed to the radiation. They said, nope, no mammogram. So I was then referred, I might have this wrong. Yeah, to a general surgeon, who suggested that I may have, I'm trying to remember when I found out I was pregnant, if it was before or after the general surgeon. Well, I was referred to a general surgeon, and he suggested that I may have had, blocked milk duct, blocked milk duct, and that's what that discharge was going to be. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and I had something called a ductogram. Now, a ductogram is when they take a tube, shove it inside of your nipple, shoot dye inside of your breast, one boob, because they only have the lump on one side, and they give you a mammogram while you've got this tube shoved inside of you. So the dye is lighting up your milk ducts, so the mammogram can pick up your milk ducts to see if there's anything in there that they're seeing. And okay, I'm getting this right now. I'm getting this right. So they did pick up something, and they didn't tell me what it was. The guy just said, oh yeah, he said it looked like precancerous cells. So that's what he told me. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was shortly after that, I found out that I was pregnant. Now, the way that I found out I was pregnant, I took home tests, obviously. That was my third pregnancy. I'm not like stupid. I took a test and I went to this OBGYN again. That was not mine. Again, same man. And he told me, he looked me dead in my eye and he said, you have to get an abortion. Like, the man had no soul. He's like, you have to get an abortion. The baby will not make it through the surgery. Like, dead face like that and everything. And I'm like, no. I just like looked at him. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And like I said, he wasn't sensitive and he wasn't my gynecologist. So like, I was just like blown away. I'm like, how can you be so insensitive? Like, honestly, like, I just wanted to get out of there. And then I went home and I'm like, I'm going to have to kill a baby. Like, this is not cool. Like, this cancer is going to take both of us. Like, this is not fair. So I was still seeing the general surgeon. He, was telling me, my diagnosis was stage 0 DCIS, which is ductal carcinoma in situ. And the cancer was in the milk duct. He was absolutely right. And it's called in situ because it usually doesn't spread. It doesn't spread. And I caught it so early. It just doesn't spread. But stage 0 is still cancer. It has to be removed. So his plan was just to remove the cancer at like Mary Lane, which is kind of scary for me. But anyways, and the way that he talked to me was like, he's like, you might be under and I might have to take your nipple, but you're going to be asleep. So I'm just going to have to take it. And I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't process that. And I'm like, all right, this guy's a total like jerk. I can't do this. So then my mom's best friend was the only person I knew that had breast cancer, and she told me that her doctor was absolutely amazing, and if I could get her doctor, and I'm like, I can't get her doctor. Like, you have an amazing job. I don't have like the best insurance in the world. Like, I'm not going to get your doctor. I get a call that the general surgeon like obviously couldn't handle me or something, and he recommended me to a doctor in Springfield, a breast specialist, and it was the doctor that my mom's friend was telling me about, and she was absolutely amazing. And she told me that, she's like, I don't know why they told you that you had to get an abortion. Yes, it is an obstacle. It is definitely an obstacle, but there are ways around it. We will use the least amount of dyes. We will choose the best surgery option for you. We will do everything that we can to protect this baby. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I was like, that's great. So, my options were, so I was only 13 weeks pregnant when I had the surgery, and they said I could not have been at a better point of my pregnancy for the surgery, because I don't know, they just said it was the perfect timing, which is just crazy, honestly. But that's how God works. So she did suggest, she's like, you should get a lumpectomy and then you can have radiation afterwards. This cancer you do not have to have chemotherapy. I did not have to have, it wasn't even in the cards, but radiation was if I had a lumpectomy. So I was like, I don't want to expose my unborn child to radiation. I don't want to do that. I was like, that's not safe. So I was like, you know what? Just take the whole thing. Take the whole thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want the other one either. So after the baby's born, take that one too. So I had the mastectomy on the cancer side. And basically what that is they just rip everything out. They take all your guts out of your boob, all of it. And then they sew it back up. And it's like straight flat. It's like, it's bad. So I could only have one breast removed because I could only be under the least amount of time as possible. So as most people know how that surgery went, I went in a nervous wreck. They said they couldn't hook the baby up to the fetal heart monitor because there was nothing they could do if the baby didn't make it. They said when I went under, the baby might not wake back up, but at 13 weeks, there's nothing they can do. Absolutely nothing. So when I came out and I heard her heartbeat, I mean, that was incredible. She made it. We named her after the doctor, which we didn't even know we were having a girl. And she has red hair and blue eyes, and her name's Ariel. And it's just God. It's just God showing off, and it's amazing. And yeah, God is amazing. So that's what I did. I had to do that. I had to have the mastectomy. So I was walking around pregnant with one boob. Talk about uncomfortable. Talk about like horrible to have to do. But was I alive, and was the baby alive? Yes, absolutely. So what they do is after Ariel was born, so what I was doing was I was wearing a bra, and I was just like stuffing one side with like, I don't know, I had like this thing that they gave me, and I was stuffing one side, and obviously the other one was getting bigger because I was about to have a baby. So it was hard to like figure it out, make it even, and it was pain in the butt. But like I said, I was thankful I was still alive. And about like 6 months after Ariel was born, I went in, and what they do is they put tissue expanders in you. Now, I said I wanted to remove the other breast, and that was just mostly because I don't want to have the cancer in that other breast. I didn't want to deal with it. I was like, I don't want to hear breast cancer ever again. I don't want to hear this. Like, no, I don't. So it was like, yep, take the other one when I'm done having the baby, da, 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 da. And what they do is, because this skin had all that time to heal, from June to my surgery was in June 2013. And then my next one was like May 2014. I'm pretty sure. This skin healed. Like, it was straight tight to me. So what they have to do is they did the mastectomy on this side, and then they put these things inside of you called tissue expanders, and that's to stretch your skin, because I wanted, when I was pregnant and I went in there and they were telling me about my options, they took one look at me pregnant and they're like, oh, we can't use your skin. They're like, you're tiny. There's no way. I'm like, well, what are my options then? And they're like, well, you can get implants. And I'm like, I can't afford implants. So they're like, no, your insurance covers it. I'm like, okay, like, well, at least I'll still look like a woman. You know what I mean? So where was I? So yeah, they put these tissue expanders in you. So like I said, this side was like, how are they even going to get anything in there? It was completely healed. So I've got a huge scar straight across right here, and it's still there. And so yeah, they took this one and they put the tissue expanders in, and they're basically like a balloon that they fill up over like a couple months process. It's a couple months process, and they put saline in it, and they slowly stretch your skin. Now these fillings are, oh my gosh, they are so painful. Like oh man, it's bad. It's very, very, very painful. And I'm missing some things, I think. Well, when you have a mastectomy, I didn't mention this part. After you have it, they have to put drains in you. So on my first surgery, I only had one drain, just one drain hanging off of me, and I had to people probably know what drains are. You have to empty them and write down how much fluid's in you, and so then low when it's good enough to take them out, and there's the least amount of fluid, and they just yank them right out. It hurts. It's painful, but I only had one when I had the mastectomy. So, okay, so they filled up the tissue expanders. And I literally had ignorant people telling me, oh, you should go with double D's. You're going to be getting breast implants. Da, 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 da. They don't understand that your skin has to be stretched. You have no guts in there anymore, and your skin has to be stretched out to be able to fit the implant in. Now, like I said, that was super painful, and it took months to get it where it was supposed to be to have, did I have drains? I'm pretty sure that I had drains. Drains when they put the tissue expanders in. So I had 2 drains hanging out here, and I had 2 drains, and they're like tubes, and they're like bulbs that are like that round and like that long. And they're just hanging there, and they're heavy, and they're filled with blood, and blech, it's disgusting. So that's, wow, this is hard to remember. That's a lot of surgeries. So so they slowly filled those, and then what they do is they take the tissue expander, like every 6 months was a surgery basically. Then they take the tissue expanders out. They stretch your skin as much as they can, and for me, that was only a B, like literally a B, because my skin was just not stretchable. Who cares? I still was able to look like a woman. I don't care. So when we discussed the implants, I decided I did not want to go with saline. I decided I did not want to go with silicone. There was a new implant that had just been approved for the United States that my plastic surgeon suggested to me. And it was the shape of a teardrop, so it would have looked more natural. And it was like gummy bear material. They're called gummy bear implants. And I was like, that'd actually be perfect, because I want it to look natural. I don't want to look like, I'm not looking for attention. I'm looking to look normal. You know what I mean? I want to look like a woman still. So I was like, wow, yeah, that's perfect. And he's like, yeah, that should work good. So what I didn't say is, when you get the tissue expanders and they put them in, you got one up here and you got one down here, and you're looking in the mirror and you're like, how is this ever going to look normal? How are they going to fix this? This is never going to look right. So major panic comes in. But then when he took out the tissue expanders and he replaced them with the implants, they were still kind of not right. And I was having like a skin rippling issue, because he must have stretched my skin a little too far, but they're supposed to overstretch it. So it definitely fits the implants. So skin rippling meant that you could see the implant. You could see where it was. And like my skin was like pinched. You could see where it was like pinched. Like you could just see the skin rippling. I don't really know how to explain it. So yeah. And I was like, wow, this does not look that good. And I'm like, okay, so now I have no nipples. They take your nipple. They take your nipple when they do a mastectomy. It's gone. So I've got all this skin rippling. I have no nipples. And I'm like, they have these things called origami nipples, which means they take like pieces of your skin and they shape it into a nipple. Like they cut your like right here and they like shape it into a nipple for you. And I was like, I want to do that. I was like, so if you can like fill in like these like ripples and then make me some nipples out of my whatever skin you can work with, I want you to do that. And he's like, okay. So I go in to have that surgery, just supposed to be having nipple surgery, and he's supposed to be fixing the ripples. And I come out and he tells me he puts bigger implants in. He didn't do the nipples. He just put bigger implants in because the rippling was so bad. He figured if you put a little bit bigger implant in, it would make the rippling go away, which he wasn't wrong. It wasn't wrong. It worked. And I didn't have drains for that one. Didn't have drains for that. You only have drains for the mastectomies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's hard to remember. Lots and lots of pain meds. And they put me on somas because all the pulling and stretching and yanking and everything that they're doing in your muscles, it makes you feel like you're having a heart attack. So I had to get muscle relaxers to I don't know. It was bad. So, he put the bigger implants in, and it did get rid of the skin rippling. They weren't huge. They were still like a B, kind of a C, not even there. So I was like, okay, so now my skin's way too like taut. You're not gonna be able to make me a nipple. So now what? He's like, well, you can do 3D tattoos. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, no, I don't really want to. But I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, I don't really have a choice now. There's not anything else I can do. So, I mean, I could have cut skin from inside my thigh and made nipples, but I was like, didn't want to do it. I was like, don't want to do it. So when I go in to have the nipple tattoos done, it was in the surgeon's office because that's his specialty. That's what he does. And it hurt so bad because of the scar tissue from the mastectomy on the first side, because the scar is like, it's really thick. I'm like, this hurts so bad. He's like, you're not supposed to feel it. He's like, women don't feel it because they're trying to say that you don't have feeling after a mastectomy. And I'm like, I can feel it. It hurts. So he probably has to do it again, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just get a tattoo and cover the whole thing up. I don't know. So anyways, so I did end up getting the nipple tattoos in, January 2016, something like that. I don't know. So everything's been going pretty good. Like, I haven't had any worries. I was told that I would have to switch these out in about 10 years. And I'm like, okay, it's only been 5 now. And I'm scrolling through Facebook the other day on a law firm website, shows up that textured gummy bear implants are recalled. And I'm like, what? And it's people are being compensated because these textured gummy bear implants are causing lymphoma. It's a specific cancer caused by these type of breast implants. Now, there was like no cases, and now there's like tons. And I'm not just talking about breast cancer patients. I'm talking about any woman that has ever had implants and chose to get these implants. Like I said, I was sold. He's like, oh, they look like a teardrop and they're not going to leak. They're like a gummy bear material. Like, I held the thing in my hand. I was like, yes, this is great. This is what I want. Like, the saline felt like literally like water in a like plastic baggie. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, how is this even going to work? Anyways, I probably just overthought it. But so I'm reading this thing online, and I'm like, I don't know if I have textured. I don't know if they're textured. I was like, Dennis, when you held them in your hand, did they feel textured? I mean the actual implant. He went to the appointments with me, all of the appointments. He's like, I don't remember. I'm like, I think they were smooth. I don't remember. And it's only a company called Allergan that is recalling these specific implants, and mine are Mentor. And I'm like, okay, my brand is Mentor. So the way I'm thinking of it is this: Allergan must be like Nike, and Mentor must be like a lower brand. You know what I mean? Like, Allergan must be like up here, and Mentor must be like here. And I watched a news article that one of the women I watched a news clip online that said one of the women that got this lymphoma she has Mentors. She has the same brand, same everything as me. And I'm like, okay, why aren't these ones being recalled yet? And I'm like, I just need to call my surgeon to figure out what I have and what I need to do. And I don't want these things in me anymore. I want them out. I want them gone. If these things have a potential to kill me, I want them out of me now. And ever since my last surgery, I have had swollen lymph nodes in my armpit, like 3 of them. And they were keeping an eye on them, and all they said was they were benign. And then I just stopped going. I stopped going to the breast specialist back in 2016. I was supposed to be going every 6 months. They haven't gotten any bigger. They haven't gotten any smaller. But I just think it's weird that my body why are they still swollen after all, since 2015? Why are they still swollen? It's just weird. And this cancer is called lymphoma, lymph nodes. You know what I mean? So I called my surgeon's office, and I couldn't talk to the secretary about it. So they had someone call me back, and I'm like, are women panicking? Like, what's going on? Are they just like saying, get these things out of me? Like, because I don't want these things in me anymore, and I don't know what my options are. And basically what they're saying, even the ones that are recalled, don't remove them. Don't remove them unless you're showing these symptoms. And I'm like, one of the symptoms is lumps in your armpit. Just to let you know that. So I'm talking to this girl and she's telling me all the symptoms. She's like, if you had the symptoms, then yes, you should remove them. I'm like, but they're not being recalled yet. So what am I worried about? And basically what I'm getting out of this is they haven't been recalled yet. It doesn't mean they're not going to. And of course, like I said, all the women are panicking and they're like, get these things out of me. I'm not going to wait for symptoms to show up. Get them out of me. So the woman tried to make me an appointment on January 30th, but I can't because I have an appointment to go to for Tyler. And so the soonest I can get in there is March 26th. She did put me on a cancellation list, but like, that's a long time. And I made a decision to want to remain to look like a woman. And now I don't think it was the right decision. And I don't know, like, what I'm going to be able to do now. Maybe possibly I can gain some weight. I don't know. Hopefully. And they can use my skin and just get the implants out. But I have no idea what I'm facing right now. I'm not, like I said in these posts, I'm not scared to die. If I get cancer, I'm not scared to die. I used to be afraid of death, but I'm not scared to die. And I've got the devil in my head saying, oh, you think that God saved you from cancer once, he's going to save you again? Yeah, you're not that special. And just like in my head, like, and that's how the devil talks to you. Like, oh, you think that? Yeah, no, That's what I was dealing with. I was like in a bubble listening to the devil. Like, God's not gonna save you again. You're gonna die this time. You're not gonna make it, all because of the stupid decision that you made. Like, I'm like, holy freaking crap, this is crazy. But that's how the devil talks to you. That's how you know it's not you. Those aren't your thoughts. So yeah, I was like in a bubble and like stressed out, and I'm still like, I would be lying to you if I told you I wasn't scared. Lying. Yes, God is bigger. He's bigger than anything. Do I believe that God has an intention to harm me? No. Does a part of me believe that I found this out for a reason before anything could happen? That is how God works. So, I mean, that's definitely possible. But right now, I don't know what I am facing. My intention is to go get the lymph nodes checked again and tell them about, well, I'm sure that they know. The breast specialist must know about this cancer going around because of these implants. But I'm going to be like, you need to check this because something's definitely not right here. I don't care. Take a biopsy. Do what you got to do. And then I'm going to talk to my surgeon. And the woman I talked to on the phone, which I know she wasn't a secretary. I don't know who she was. I didn't really ask. But she was very understanding, very nice. Asked me how I heard about it. And I told her it was a Facebook post from a law firm. And she's like, yeah, she's like, our phones have been blowing up off the hook. I'm like, and she's like, and I completely understand everything that you've already been through and how hard this must be. Like, I was like, I hope everybody talks to you because you are completely understanding. And she literally, this is the word she said. She's like, you need to go see your doctor. I almost said his name. You need to go see your doctor and you need to say, if I was your daughter, what would you tell me to do? Now, do you think he's going to lie to me, put in that position? No, he's going to tell me the right thing to do. So, as of right now, I don't know. But I just need peace of mind. I need to find out what his opinion is about all of this. And he's been a great doctor so far. And yeah. So that's what I'm facing. That's what I've been talking about. That's the gist of it. Breast cancer is no joke. Like I said, I didn't have a lump. It was that discharge. This nasty discharge came out of me. And I Googled it, and the first thing it said was cancer. So yeah, I freaked out. But I also see this discharge as a blessing in disguise. Because if it never happened and never would have led me to all the testing that led to the cancer, I could have been 50 years old with full-blown cancer and never known until it was too late. Like, that's a blessing. And for God to give me Ariel when I was being told to kill her, no, that wasn't okay what that guy did. God showed up and showed off so much in all of this, and I do believe that he's going to continue. The right thing is going to happen. I'm going to do the right thing. But it's just like, yeah, why am I going through this right now? Like, I was supposed to not have to worry about this anymore, you know what I mean? So yeah. So everyone's like wondering about my post, and I didn't really tell any family members. Maybe my mom and my sister might have, but I didn't. I just wanted to explain what's happening right now and what going through breast cancer is like, especially being pregnant. It's a lot. It's a lot of surgeries. And I would love to avoid another one, but it's not going to be possible. Not another one. I was going to have one in 5 more years anyways, but to have one sooner than that, yeah, it's not fun to think about. But yeah, that's what I'm going through. That's what my posts have been about. And yeah, I just need a lot of prayers, because I want this to all turn out okay. But I'm not afraid to die. I'm not. Ever since I gave my heart to Jesus, I want to go to heaven and meet Jesus and God and to see what they have for me. Because this life is this big. Eternity is forever. I'm just, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm going through right now. And the reason I chose to share this is because you may have a close relative that's going through it, and you might not understand what's going on. Now you will. Like, it's a big deal. I'm not saying people haven't had worse surgeries than that. I'm not. Far from it. No way. But I just wanted to explain what it was like. The whole thing. Not leaving any details out. So, yeah. Have a great day. God bless.